Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be testing out and trying out the new Jeffree Star Blue Bloods palette. This was my first time using the palette and it's how I got the look on my eyes right here. So if you want to see how I got this look and what I think of the palette and a few of the other products in the collection, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I already did one eye off camera and this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the other eye, and I already did my bottom part of my brow just so I had a clear line of what to follow, and I'm going to fill the rest in when I do my face makeup. I'm just taking my ColourPop concealer and priming my lids with that. And make sure I take that into the inner corner as well, because I am bringing the shadow pretty far in, so I won't be able to put concealer there after I lay the shadow down. And I'm doing my eyes before I do my face just because I didn't want to risk blue fallout everywhere, because that would be an absolute mess to clean up. Now, I didn't notice a ton of fallout with the mattes, but I definitely noticed it with the shimmers. And I am taking some makeup tape so I have a clean line. I am going to be setting my concealer with some powder so the base isn't sticky, because I tend to find that with blues they blend better on top of a not sticky base. So I'm going to be going in with the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette, which I'll talk a little bit more about the palette and show you guys the palette later in the video. Take the shade Undertaker and Deceased from the palette and start mapping out where I want my cut crease to go. So I have that rough outline of it. Nothing special, it's super sloppy. I'm gonna go with the shade Blue Monday and the shade Deceased on a Morphe M433 brush, and I'm just gonna start packing that on my lid. And as I'm packing on the shade, I don't really care if it goes underneath the line, just because I am going in with concealer to clean up the lid afterwards, and it's much easier to clean up the lid with concealer than it is to clean up right underneath your brow and into your crease with concealer. So I would rather the color come down than go up. And I'm just gonna keep building that up and packing it on there. And then just on a e.l.f. blending brush, I'm gonna take the shade Mint Tea and Ice Cold and blend that along the top just to smooth all that out. And it will kind of help lighten everything up near the brow. And then on a smaller pencil brush, which doesn't have a name on it, I'm gonna go in with Blue Monday, Deceased, and Undertaker and really concentrate that lower in the crease. Then one more time with I'm Cold and Mint Tea, and I'm just gonna go in really small circular motions just to give that one final little blend for now, and then of course we will come back to it and blend it out more if necessary. And now I'm going with my concealer and my Morphe M213 brush, and I'm gonna cut my crease, and I'm gonna start from the inner corner and then just swoop it up and then come out into a wing. But I can't talk while I'm doing this, so I'm gonna go ahead and explain it before. So now I'm going in the shade Mint Tea, I'm Cold, and Blue Blood, and I'm packing that on the inner third of my eye. And in the center of my eyelid, I'm taking the shade Entitled, and I'm going to start putting that on. And then I'm going with the shade Ice Tray and packing that on in the outer corner. And then where my wing goes, I'm taking the shade Ocean Ice and packing that there. And now I'm going to go back in with the shades and just make sure the edges where they all meet are blended together. Now, since they are similar in tone, you don't really have to do a whole ton to get them to blend together, because they do just kind of go together already. But you still don't want just a sharp line where you start a new color. But now I'm going to take that same really small definer brush. I'm going to go into the shade Undertaker, Blue Monday, and Deceased again, and just go over these lines. And it just helps define that crease even more. So I did get the Jeffree Star Minis Little Blue Blood lip set, and I'm taking the shade Titanic, which is just a deep navy blue metallic color, and I'm putting that on the back of my hand. I'm taking an angled brush and I'm going to make a wing with it. And now I'm taking the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in the shade Jawbreaker and just putting, again, some of that on the back of my hand. Taking a really, really small detail brush. So I'm going to stay on top of like the lighter blue where I cut the concealer. I'm not going to go above it, but I'm just going to outline all of that. And I feel like with this eye, that made such a difference. It just made it look so much sharper. So on a really small brush, I'm going back into Blue Monday, Deceased, and Undertaker, and just running that right above it just to deepen all of that up just one more time. Then I'm going to take a small brush in the shade Colleen. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm going to highlight my brow with it. Alright, so I'm going to go pop on some false lashes, remove this tape, and finish up the rest of my face, and I'll be right back. So now to finish up the lower lash line, I'm going to take the Marc Jacobs eyeliner in the shade Wavelength and just put that in my lower waterline. I'm mixing the shade Deceased and Blue Blood on a pencil brush and running that on the lower lash line. And I'm going back into that one shade Coleam, and I'm going to highlight my inner corner. Alright, so this is the completed eye look. I'm going to go ahead and go finish the rest of my face, and then I'll be back to talk about the palette and the rest of the products I picked up from the collection. Okay, so this is the completed look. I do really like how the eyes came out. It was a little touch and go there for the eyes. I sometimes feel like with like blue, you kind of need to finish the look and especially get like the full face to really get the effect of it. But now that it's done, I have my full face on and everything like that. I really do like it. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the palette. This is what the palette looks like. It has a little bit of a clasp that just flips up kind of like a jewelry box would. And then you open it up and you have 18 shades, a really big mirror in here. So I feel like you can do a lot of looks with this palette. I didn't have to reach into any other palettes for any shades that I used. So I definitely feel like you could use just this palette, which for a color palette like this, it's very unusual that you don't have to reach into another palette to complete your look. I did use about 10 shades from this palette to do my eyes, so really only about 8 shades I didn't use. And they all performed really, really well. They're super pigmented, super blendable. I love blue eyeshadow. It's just a lot of the times it's very underwhelming when you use it. A lot of blues can be really patchy and not pigmented, and even if they don't start off like it's super, super pigmented, you can't really build them up. This palette, you could build them up. They were very pigmented. They blended out very, very easily. So as far as fallout, until you got to the shimmer shades, I really didn't feel like I had a ton of fallout, and even then, I feel like I only had fallout because I wasn't necessarily like trying not to have it. When you don't have your face done, I sometimes just like really like, you know, I'll pack it on my brush and just put as much on at one time instead of going in slowly. But I feel like even if you had your foundation on first, this palette doesn't have like terrible fallout, so I feel like you could use it and not have like a big mess on your cheeks. So I will say it's a pretty heavy palette. It's not going to be the palette that like you want to hold like up here to do your makeup. So if you like blue eyeshadow, you will not be disappointed. If you don't like it, then I would obviously steer clear of this. The next product was the mini Velour liquid lip set. I had a few of these. This is the first one I've ever picked up. And Jeffree Star's liquid lipsticks are, I say, because I'm probably not going to use these shades on my lips. And if I did, it wouldn't be like every day. So unless it's like a certain kind of look, or I just want like a really cool funky lip color. So that's why I picked this up, more to use as like eyeliner or like do more colorful artistic detail work with it. I did pick up a lip scrub in the scent Blue Freeze, which is in the blue packaging, and it smells so good. I haven't used it yet, so I picked this up just because I needed a new lip scrub. The one I already use now is one of his other scents, but I've had it for probably close to a year, if not a little bit over a year. So it's reached its expiration date and I just wanted to get a new one just because I don't really want to be using expired lip scrub and stuff like that, especially with it being so close to my mouth. His lip scrubs are some of my favorite lip scrubs out there. I've tried quite a few and this is definitely one of my favorites. I always go back to it. Really excited about that. And then I did pick up one of the liquid frost highlighters, which I totally forgot while I was doing my makeup, so I will try it out another time. But I will go ahead and swatch the color. And I got the shade Ice Cream Bling. So I'm just gonna give this a quick shake before I swatch it, just because you do want to give it a shake because it helps kind of mix the glitter and stuff back into it. And over here is kind of what it looks like on the palm of my hand. It's super pretty. It's a like peachy yellow kind of one. And it has little blue and green glitters in it, but they're not super noticeable. But yeah, that is what I picked up from the new Jeffree Star collection. I will leave links to everything and prices down below. I know the eyeshadow palette is out of stock right now, but I know he will be restocking it, so just go like check on his page and stuff like that. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up and make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my other future uploads. And hit that bell notification button just so you can be alerted anytime I post a new video. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.